credit in the Chinese system, it seems. That can only be good for the economy, right?
Well, I guess that's true. I mean, over the course of the last 6 to 12 months, we've talked about the potential for a hard landing in China, but obviously the authorities have stepped up to the plate. And it was a bit of a surprise, I guess, in the sense that there was a general feeling that the authorities overdid the monetary easing in 08, 09, and a huge amount of liquidity had been pumped into the system, and it was time to take some out. But now we find that policy has been reversed, and I think it does bode well for Chinese GDP over certainly this year and possibly well into next.
A couple of items to watch in Europe. An Italian bond auction, a 3-year, I guess on the back of the BOJ. This is going to be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, the demand for Italian paper has been reasonably good so far this year, despite all the concerns about where Italy is heading. And as you rightly point out, given the fact that the Japanese have kick-started a new wave of quantitative easing, I think that's going to be a tide which lifts all boats, including Italian bonds.
Sure. And at Finance Ministers' meeting in Ireland, news yesterday about these extensions that Ireland and indeed Portugal will be given. Do you think, I mean, that's going to be discussed. How much of a precedent do you think that'll set?
Well, I think it basically is a reflection of the reality that the problems in both of these economies were so deeply entrenched that it was always going to be very difficult for these economies to come back to the market, perhaps quite as soon as had been anticipated. To be fair, Ireland's made a good start, but Portugal certainly needs a lot more time before it's going to be able to tap the market again.
What do you make of what we got from the Fed yesterday, the divergent views on when to stop the bond buys?
As you said, divergent. I mean, the general view is this is going to be determined by what happens to the economy. My guess is that over the course of the next few weeks, once the Federal Reserve begins to take into account this slightly weaker data we've seen of late, maybe we will see a little bit more of a predilection towards pushing out the date at which QE stops.